Hello and welcome to Happy Foot, Sad Foot, your LAFC gateway drug and your only LAFC podcast that does much better numbers in Korea. I'm Travis Helwig.
I'm Vince LaRosa.
And I'm Darren Miller. Welcome to our preview of LAFC's MLS match this week versus New England on Saturday, August 16th at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. You can watch it on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV+. And our live post-game call-in show will start 10 minutes after the final whistle at youtube.com/@HappyFootSadFoot. Dress code for the live stream is our latest merch available over at HappyFootSadFootPod.com, including our new Son Heung-min, Denny Bawanga BFF merch. And if you're a Patreon member, you get 15% discount.
Get it before the cease and desist. Later in the show, we'll talk to Deech from Tiger Supporters Group about what it's like to be Koreatown Supporters Group. And of course, we'll discuss all this week's storylines and make some bets. But first, the people demand it. They must have it. The good people of South Korea are learning to hate it. It's time for listener-mandated banter.
Wow, a whole new group of people to hate this. I don't know how to feel about that.
If it's your first time listening, we include a link to skip this portion of the show in the description.
If I remember.
But
oftentimes we don't.
This is standard practice for American podcasts. Like, we have to have this. It's actually mandated by the American Podcast Association that we have some kind of moment that is unscripted of us talking about our lives or whatever's going on, because they really just want us to share ourselves.
And that's governed by the girl from Call Her Daddy and Mark Maron and
Joe Rogan. Although Joe Rogan's entire podcast is that.
Right. It's 3 hours of that. Yeah. And Maron's stepping down. So who knows? Yeah, we might get a new overlord of podcasts.
Yeah, the S-Town guy will will run for it. For those of you who have not been following or don't follow us on Instagram or Twitter, somebody ripped the post-game show of Darren and Vince, translated into Korean, and then redubbed it with English voices that are not yours on top of it. And that did 500,000 views on YouTube.
You know what I realized? What it was that it's the dubbing feature on YouTube. So because your language on YouTube is set to English, it's English for you.
Oh.
And if someone's language is set to Korean, they'll get our voices in Korean. What's weird about it is that the English version, because it was re-uploaded and went through the dubbing, the English version is a dubbed English.
That's so funny.
I don't know if there's a version available that's just the English we actually spoke. Because it's an English translation of the Korean, I guess. I don't know.
I like my voice better dubbed.
We're going to be interviewed over on their channel, so we have to be nice.
Yeah. If someone was that interested in our stuff, like, let's hang out, right?
It's just funny to be like, oh, in one day, we did more views than the entirety of 3 years of this podcast.
But it wasn't us who got the view.
Yeah, someone else got the ad revenue.
It's their audience.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, people were interested in their channel.
I would like to imagine that if I went to South Korea, I may be recognized.
I don't know. It's a big country.
not like this week. But we'll be doing this for the rest of the season. Who knows how LAFC will do?
Yeah.
Let's say they make it to MLS Cup. We're doing this, we do that, and then like one day I go there. I mean, Darren,
let's do a live show in South Korea.
I was gonna say our first live show is in Seoul.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in.
I've never been there. That would be amazing.
We were going to do it at the Elysian, but instead we'll do it in South Korea.
Well, imagine we were like, because our fans have wanted us to do like a live show. And we're like, yeah, let's get, like 50, maybe 100 people. And then we go to Seoul, South Korea, and there's 2,000 people.
Stadium.
They're like, we were told Son would be here.
Yeah, that's the problem. They're going to think that we brought him with us.
You guys are the ones from the goofy thumbnail where they picked Vince rolling his eyes up in the back of his head.
The three white LAFC fans.
Of course, you're the ones who started a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny thing to be like, we're what, like 10 followers away on YouTube from 1.5 thousand subscribers. We're under 1,000 at the start of the season, rocketing up the past few weeks. So if you're just watching on YouTube for the first time, give us a subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. We're almost at episode 250. It's been 250 episodes almost.
It's a lot. And at least a dozen were good.
Yeah.
Almost that many. I mean, we do the episodes are now long enough that like you could pick out a few minutes of every episode that's good. That's consistency.
Yeah, the person who re-uploaded it did cut it down to 20 minutes.
Yeah, they cut the fat pretty well,
they?
I think.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they did a good job.
If they could just go through the rest
They
of
could
our
do that for us
episodes and
too,
put
that'd be great.
a little compilation
You can have the
together
footage,
of our
do it
best
for both
moments.
channels.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would be an overnight edit. It would remove some of the heft from Darren's workload if we got
that's
a South
true.
Korea
It's like
to
the
edit.
afternoon there.
I think we're onto something.
This is honestly, I have not been able to figure out how to get
This
these
is a
things edited
win-win.
any other way than me staying up into the middle of the night.
Yeah, if you're listening from South Korea and you know how to do audio editing, let us know.
Yep.
Well, video editing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you
we're
want,
in the market.
yeah, crazy.
Well, we're already outsourcing our work to Asia.
Ugh, it's not like that. What
all right.
else is happening in your guys' lives?
It's mainly been this.
Yeah, this is all we got, huh?
Yeah.
There
Should we
are
start the
people
show?
at my work that have taken more notice of LAFC.
Oh,
because of
really?
this. Yeah. Because they're like,
Are you like,
people are
"No, this
asking
is
me
my
about
thing"?
things. Yeah. Well, it's funny because they'll be like, "Don't you do a podcast?" I'm like, "No, that's fine.
Don't worry about it.
No,
Don't worry about it.
I was actually
Where
wearing an
people
LAFC
can't know.
hat. We were out. This has happened a couple times, and I'll be out with Cody, and like our waiter will be like, "Oh, do you like LAFC?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, but do you like really like it?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Oh, I know some people that like they just kind of casually." I'm like, "Well, I used to work for them." And they're like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" And so then they're like, "Blah blah blah," and it's very funny to chat with them and just have them be like, "I like this," or "This happened," and then they start talking. I don't know, how does this happen? Stop it, guys. Tactics, like stop talking to me about this stuff. They don't even know it's me. They're just like, "Yeah, the last game I just thought that like we parked the bus," and I'm like, am I being punked? And so then they leave, and she always goes, "Why didn't you tell them about your podcast?" I was like, "No, I think it's fine." See that you need to understand.
It's so hard
we're
to
not
bring it up.
We're not trying to make it big.
Yeah.
we're actually preferring not to tell people about it.
Yeah, actually unsubscribe. If you're subscribing, please
Yeah,
unsubscribe.
Validate our
Or God, don't.
embarrassment.
All right, let's start the show, huh? We started talking about LAFC too fast.
We can start the show, but we have a message from our sponsors today.
From our sponsor, Swiffer Wedja?
No, an actual real sponsor this time. Can you believe
Wait,
it?
we weren't getting paid this whole time?
Not at all. No, I was paying out the ass to Swiffer.
It is expensive.
Yeah, I was licensing their brand name. It's extremely expensive. You ever notice how some law firms advertise like they're fielding a World Cup squad, but when it's game time, all you get are the bench warmers?
I have noticed that, yeah.
Can you guys give me some details on the last times that you've dealt with a law firm?
I'm not legally allowed to.
Yeah.
That's right.
NDA, baby.
Yeah, doctor-patient confidentiality.
Yeah.
But let's
HIPAA.
just say
I'm just saying
can't-
all the abbreviations I know.
Documentation company.
That's my doctor. That lawyer's my doctor. You can't ask.
That's why I can't talk. I showed my lawyer things I shouldn't show.
At Amirian Law, they're not about bright billboards or cheesy jingles. They're focused on what really matters, winning your case and getting you the compensation you deserve. With Amirian Law, you get more firepower than a Bawanga blast from day one when you need it most.
Hell yeah.
So if you want a law firm that plays like a team but delivers like a star striker, call Amirian Law at the special Happy Foot Sad Foot Friend of the Foot phone number, 1-866-ARE-WE-BACK.
What?
1-866-AREWEBACK. That's 1-866-273-9322. Are we back?
I feel back if we have a special number for a law firm. That feels
think we're
special.
back.
We're back, baby.
I think we're so back. Well, I guess we could say we're back from commercial.
Okay, I think that means we could start the show. Darren, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. All right, well, as the more casually obsessed LAFC fan on this show, I love LAFC and I'll never miss a match, but I don't have time to stay on top of all the advanced stats, roster moves, rumors, tactics, and off-the-field drama that I can't get from just watching the matches, when all I see watching a match is ball get kicked, ball go in net, Frenchman flip, Frenchman high-five Korean legend, not sure what happened next because obviously I blacked out. Luckily, my friends Travis, the human LAFC crazy wall, and Vince, the LAFC patron saint of tactics, are here to catch me up every week on the most important storylines that live beneath the surface of every match so we can all enjoy them so much more in a segment we call Storylines.
We should do a Storylines theme song in Korea. We should get the TikTok algorithm to do that again. Feels like,
Just translate it.
yeah, it's just the word storylines over.
There's
and
a whole
over.
new world of
Also-
things we could do now that people are interested.
Could you get the Club World Cup song just in Korean? I know that we can't play it again, but I need a version.
We'll see. Maybe in 4 years. Darren, Vince, Dince, I come to you on this, one of the most important weeks in LAFC history with some storylines.
It keeps being true.
And the first one is, of course, this. Can you believe fucking Son is on our fucking team? After watching a chaotic game in Chicago this weekend, one thing stood out. For the first time since we started this podcast 3 years ago, Denny Bouanga is not the best player on LAFC. Son, having barely trained with the team, looked easily like one of the best players to ever play in the league. In his 30 minutes he was on the field, he didn't just look fit, he looked very fast. People saying he lost his legs are full of shit. I didn't get to watch the game live, but now a few days removed from that performance, I want to know what you guys think about Son having, now it's settled down a little bit. Are you still just as excited? Are you more excited? Did it feel more real to you after watching it? How are you feeling right now about Son being on our team?
I keep forgetting because he's such a massive star and he's just so worldwide and everything that's come with it. And then he played so well. I keep forgetting that LAFC broke the MLS transfer record to bring him in. Like, we're barely talking about that. Because
also was it Vancouver? Was it the Mueller transfer that also broke it, if not for the Son transfer?
No, because Mueller was a free agent. Mueller's making a lot of money.
Was there another one? I thought there was another one that was like 19 million or something.
There were two other ones this season. There were two other ones this season.
Yes, like Atlanta United has basically gone out and continuously broken the transfer record. And that's one of the things, one of the reasons why I forgot, because like a lot of the guys that they're bringing in, and they're good players, don't get me wrong. I don't want to say that these guys weren't good players, but like some of the guys coming in, they're like, that was the guy that had the transfer record before. And so like, I don't know why it just didn't click in my head that like, oh, of course Son has the transfer record now. But it was, Darren and I were sitting there, we were like, we just couldn't believe it. Not so much because he was there, but because of just how good he was. Like, we were going to give him a pass. We were going to give him a pass for like a couple games, because that's like how LAFC's like basically been with every transfer. Like, remember, even Bouanga, we were like, don't worry, he'll be good. We're okay. But Son was like literally shot out of a cannon. And that was, yeah. And it's one of the things where like we finished that game and there was just a couple comments where it was like, guys, we tied 2-2, like against a really shitty team. We're like, it doesn't even matter. Cause like you just saw a glimpse of this guy in what he could do. Like all we can do is dream about what comes next. And this is 30 minutes, just 30 minutes of him. And don't forget that he comes in and the other team scored a goal, like to put LAFC down a goal. And then he took over the game. Like, and I don't mean that so much as like, he actually like took over the game with the ball at his feet. Like, you just couldn't take your eyes off of him, because anytime the ball got somewhere near him, you're like, he's going to do something special. And that moment, the burst of speed between those two center backs, getting his body in between himself and Tehran, who took him down, like it was perfect. Like, everything was perfect. Even him jarring with him and like telling him like, you didn't even touch the ball, which is like so perfect. It was like so pure. Like, he's just like, don't call me a diver. Like, you didn't even touch the ball. Everything he did was great. And honestly, again, we would have given him a pass, but he far exceeded all expectations. And I'm just excited to see what he brings, and just knowing the type of player and type of person he is, that this is not a flash in the pan. Like, this is just a start.
I think the only thing left is that there's a little bit of embarrassment with like people who are already fans of his and are like, they're like a little let down about the level of play that they're like used to watching the Premier League. And then they're like, okay, so what the fuck is this? So I do feel like a little exposed, but hopefully everything will even out.
I think once he's in the Golden Boot race next year, they'll stop caring about that. I don't think it'll matter so much. I do wonder, like, I knew that it was a big signing and I knew it would matter. I didn't know that it was at this level of fame, right? I knew that, like, you could say he's the Michael Jordan of South Korea, which we've said on this podcast. I didn't really understand the level in which eyes would suddenly be on the team. and the level of dedication people have to this guy. And some of that has to, I was taken by like, you could tell he's a good dude. Like his character shines through even just by like demanding to play, right? The fact that he really wanted to play and then he played really hard and seeing him like run through the tunnel in training and shit like that. It's like, we're witnessing a guy who's going to come in and not only change the fame of the club, but change the culture of the club. And like, he just feels like he is a transformative player, whether or not he wins this MLS Cup, right? He's just going to be the best player on our team for the next couple of years if he plays half as well as he played against Chicago, right?
I don't even think it's accurate to say he's the Michael Jordan of Korea, because hear me out. When Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan, we didn't have the type of world we have today where we're so connected, right? So like Michael Jordan's fame has, obviously he's arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, and everyone that picks up a basketball is like has some kind of connection to him all around the world. But we weren't that connected around the world. So I think that's why. And then on top of it, we all lived here when there was Michael Jordan, right? Like we lived in the States. So like we were just like, yeah, that's Michael Jordan. Not to say we wouldn't have gone crazy if he would have been anywhere near any of us as a kid. So we definitely weren't ready. Like it's bigger than Michael Jordan, honestly, because even though, again, everyone in America, not everyone, but I mean, a vast majority of Americans knew Michael Jordan and say, yeah, that's the greatest basketball player of all time. I'm going to guarantee the percentage of Koreans that know Sonny and say he's the greatest Korean soccer player of all time, it far exceeds that. Like, again, we're talking about there will be moments where they will register how many Koreans in Korea are watching LAFC games, and it's going to be numbers where it's going to blow our minds. And I don't think any of us are ready for that. And I agree with you, Travis. Like we weren't ready for it. It kind of makes sense. I don't think you ever can be. Like it's got to be something else. I just can't even imagine what it's like to be him. Like it's like that messy level of like can't do anything on your own. Like these people truly love him, and they love him with all their hearts. It's crazy in the best way, but there's no way you could fathom that.
Darren, do you think Max Bretos should be executed for calling Son Sonny like many EPL fans think he should be?
I saw you put a tweet out that was like,
I thought this was common knowledge.
Everybody who was complaining about this, I asked him what he preferred to be called, and that's what he told me. So that's what I called him.
It's the same.
It was so funny to just be like, I'm a professional.
This shit always happens anytime a clip from American soccer breaks through to Britain, where like people are not used, or even just like football circles in general, people are not used to hearing an American accent do color. And so like they're just going to complain about the commentator no matter what. And so the fact that he called him the thing that he asked him what he should be called, and then that's what they got hung up about. Like it was such a wild 24 hours of people really upset with Max for the stupidest possible reason.
Yeah.
He left Tottenham and one of his teammates was like, literally was like, I'm going to miss you, Sonny. That's what his teammates called him. Like, and I honestly, I was so surprised because I thought this was common knowledge. Like, I thought that everyone knew that that's what he'll tell people. Like, yeah, you can call me Sonny.
People were like, the comments were like, show some respect. You're a broadcaster. You don't know him. He's like, I personally asked him what he wants to be called.
Right.
Show some respect to your broadcasters.
Yeah. Show some respect to the man you spoke to 12 hours ago. Okay. So that brings us to a free Max Bretos from the European free Max from the electric chair.
Oh, it's the UK, so it's the like medieval stuff, right?
Oh yeah, it's the UK, so he actually gets out after 30 days. If you're sentenced to death, you'll get out after 30 days.
Yeah, that's right.
That brings us, me being a conservative suddenly, brings us to our second storyline of the week. Also, look, I got a Sun jersey.
Oh, hey.
They're sold
That's
out,
the
baby.
second storyline.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Travis has the jersey.
You better guard that.
I ordered it before the signing was official because I had a feeling. I can't believe they sold out. I didn't expect that.
Fanatics said it's the best-selling jersey for any sport, I think.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is, as of right now. Like, and they're out of them. Like, that's just crazy.
I'll just say, if you're thinking about getting one, Miss Bones was right. The full collar on the replica, not only is it cheaper, much more comfortable to wear than the weird half collar on the Authentic. So just the only thing that sucks is the badge is a little bit lower quality, but the kit itself is more comfortable to wear, I would say.
I did have that thought when he suited up and went in. I was like, oh no, he has to deal with the collar.
Yeah, South Korea is going to see our collar.
Like, can't we do better for this guy?
Yeah. That brings us to our second storyline, which doesn't have to do with the one person that we all want to talk about.
And then end the show.
Yeah, honestly, if you're watching from South Korea, you can turn it off now.
Yeah, you don't have to dub this part.
And it's this. What else does this team need from the transfer window to help us get home court in the playoffs? Yes, that's our new goal. Currently sitting fifth in the West, still with a couple of games in hand, LAFC needs to start locking in for the rest of the season if we want a secure home field advantage in the playoffs, which we do. We play a lot better at home than we do away. Currently, we have 37 points in fifth place with either 2 or 3 games in hand, depending on who's in front of us. A surging Seattle is in fourth place with 41 points, but they do have the League's Cup going on simultaneously. And Portland is tied with us currently at 37 points, sitting behind us in a tiebreaker. We are no longer in reach for the top spot with games in hand, but we could still get there if San Diego loses some games. But we're reaching the tail end of the season where now we should start thinking about how tight is the table and what seed do we think we can realistically get to end the season. As we move into the home stretch, Vince, what do you think the team is currently looking for in the transfer market? And do you think the solution needs to come from outside, or do you think our roster is strong enough that we could continue to move up the table?
I do think that the roster now with Son is strong enough, because the biggest thing LAFC was crying out for was a secondary scoring option, and clearly he's going to be one. And I see a lot of people saying, well, they need more, and I don't totally disagree with you. I think if you're John Thornton and you're looking at this and you watch that last game, you're like, wow, okay, yeah, we're a very good team now, and I think we could do some damage the way we're constituted, and that is taking into account that they've gotten a center back to fill in for Aaron Long and Porteous. Like they've kind of filled the gaps. And any other season, you would probably say like, this is a good enough team. I think they have that, like we always talk about, you reach a final, anything can happen in a final. I think that this team as constituted, they very well could reach a final. Like regardless of where we're stacked in the table, no one in the West truly scares me. Like the talent level of LAFC, I think matches up with anyone in the West. And then the fact that you have experience, if they can get home games, they really don't scare me. But I am of the mind of a lot of people. It's like, well, why leave it there? I mean, there's always a chance, like the best team doesn't always win. That is just part of sports. But why not with an open designated player spot where basically you just have it? You don't need to do any maneuvering. You don't need to think about moving different players. Yes, there are going to be guys that maybe have to sit on the bench. And we had this, Darren, we kind of had this conversation with Jeff after the game. It's like, there's guys that might have to sit on the bench. That might lower their value. That's a separate problem. Don't care about that problem. I care about winning trophies. So bring in a guy right now that is prime age, that is a playmaker, that can get basically Son and Denny Bouanga on the ball, either inside the box already, where they're basically just finishing off plays, or as close to the box as possible, and unlock teams in times in which LAFC can't play on the break and can't play in space. Have that type of player, because I think in games LAFC can play in space, especially now with 2 options. They're gonna steamroll teams, but that's not going to happen in the playoffs. There's going to be teams that are going to say, even a team like Vancouver, I think, in a playoff moment might say, hey, let's lock it down. Let's really make them beat us in a set defense with them using the ball. And LAFC has to have just another option. I think that they have the talent and they could win those games. Like, I'm not saying that like there's no chance they can win games in which they have to do it with the ball, because I thought Nathan Rodez with the ball at his feet, like there was a light that clicked on where he was like, oh, I understand where my role is with these 2 guys up top. And that was just in that first game. So imagine what happens next game, and more reps and more practice. I think his work rate and his ability to be a complementary piece could really do some things for LAFC, and maybe they could go to a final, and maybe they could win it. But man, imagine if you got a guy that's 27 years old, that's won trophies, that is just like, that's his game, playing with the ball at his feet, opening up defenses, playing through balls, slipping in little passes, combining with players so that they can be on the move. That's the type of player I would love LAFC to have. And I think, again, you obviously have to sign that player and find the right one, but you don't have to maneuver like some teams would. You don't have to open up a spot. It's just there for you. So
how much longer do we have to sign someone?
We have about 11 days from today. It's the 24th. Well, we had to make this clarification too. To make a transfer, you have 11 days. That's the transfer window.
But free agents you can bring in after, right?
Now, they have to be a free agent when the window opened, so that it would be a lot of players, because generally all the contracts in Europe ended at the end of last season. So there is the possibility of a wider net than, let's say, when we talk about this to start the season, right? Because you still have that opportunity to do that to start the season. That date, I think, is later in September, where you have to lock in your roster. Again, I just think, like, don't get your business done. Like, don't take your chances. Bring somebody in. I know that John has been flirting with we could bring in another U22. And that makes me think that, like, that's kind of what they're thinking. And maybe they'll spend money. Maybe he'll be very good. But it would just make me feel a lot better if it was a guy where you're like, because look, there's risk no matter what. Even if I say, hey, bring in a 28-year-old that is a proven star, doesn't mean he's necessarily going to be the guy. But you just feel like lessen the amount of risk, because you look at the team in front of you and you say, they're so close. Just need just a little bit to maybe put them over the top and really be able to go into the playoffs playing in a way in which teams are legitimately, I think teams are scared of LAFC, but that would just be another level.
Darren, obviously, it doesn't look like the news we broke of Perez coming to the team is going to work out. It's a nice reminder to not get your news from us, because we don't know what we're talking about. DP Pro let us down. But what do you think this team needs to settle down into the final few games of this season? And do you think, like Vince does, that we're possibly MLS Cup contenders?
I think we're definitely MLS Cup contenders. I think teams have done far more with far less at this stage in the season, having accomplished far less even. One thing we noticed on the last match that Vince, you talked about a lot, was maybe one more creative midfielder, someone who can get the ball to the people who are going to score a little bit better. I don't know. To be honest with you, like, we have Son here. I feel like if we just kind of take a second to see how this dynamic sets, I think we'll be pretty happy with it. Like, I almost prefer less shuffling around to another big new guy in the mix. I don't know what the right answer is or the right way to do it is, but I don't know. Like, I don't know that I'm itching for it as much. Certainly I would be excited if we get someone who's clearly additive to the starting roster, but I don't know. I feel pretty good about where we're at.
I think, there's we're one of the more optimistic LAFC news sources that exist on the internet. And I read something online that I just want to highlight too about there's an ongoing narrative that the team only knows how to play defense. And I read something I thought was really interesting. Dolo ball versus the rest of the league with 2 to 3 fewer games played. These are the stats for Dolo ball, which for those of new fans of the club, Steve Cherundolo is known as Dolo. Dolo ball is what people call his style of play, which is known as being defensive only. We are 6th in goals scored per 90, again, with 2 to 3 fewer games played, 7th in shots per 90, 6 shots on target per 90, and 4th in XG per 90. This person goes on to say, aesthetically pleasing, not for everyone, effective, mostly, only defensive, not really. And that, it looks like their name is Vincenze the Rose. Anyone have anything to add about that?
It's a very intelligent, smart man.
Yeah, very attractive. You could see the outline of his cock. It's massive.
Yeah, level. And end it there.
No, Vince had a post that I thought was really interesting today, and it was because it just goes against the narrative of how we think about Doloball.
Yeah, and I think, look, fair points with fans that have said, like, well, I'm bored of it, or this and that. Fine. That's why I put it, like, aesthetically, probably not the most pleasing, but it has been effective. And I think we need to remember, and most of these stats pre-Son. So I think we need to remember, you know, the team is not exactly where we want them to be, but they still do have a couple games in hand. And they're also not as bad as everyone says that they are. And it just, like, these are just objective stats. Like, this is the way the team plays. I don't think that there's a right or wrong way to play. Now, you can say you prefer a way. That's totally fine. But if these stats were, much lower, I might be a little bit more on your side. They're just not. And one stat that I didn't include that somebody pointed out was LAFC's like chances given up, their XG against, which basically is a measure of their chances, best in the league. So we're talking about a team that is basically top 5 in all offensive categories, while the very best defensively. And I think what people...
Danny Bouanga is also first in shots and second in shots on target.
Right. And I think what people forget is, and look, again, there's no right way to play this game. And I know people watch the game because they want to see goals. LAFC, by the way, as we've proven, does give you goals. But they want to see like intricate passing and things like that. And I get it. I want to see that too. I love a good team move. I love when a team moves the ball around. I love the Columbus Crew way. Hire me, MLS.
Wow, Vince is
that was the
on
whole
his way to
interview.
New York.
Yeah, that's all they need.
That was it.
But moving to Connecticut.
Yeah, see it. Sorry, guys. I'm out. I'm going to Apple Studios.
Why aren't you wearing socks suddenly?
Comes
oh my God, your suit got tighter.
Vince Weeby?
But there's no right way to play this game. And I think I summed it up to some of the responses that I got, which kind of reiterated what my thinking was, that a lot of people were just don't like the way the game is played and they're not talking about the actual stats, which is, again, fine with me. But I think what you got to look at is a coach that was a defender, that his philosophy is this: we don't give up big chances. We hit teams when they're vulnerable. We get our best players in the spaces to do the most damage. I can't reiterate this enough. Like, as much as this game is complex and we talk about tactics, these high level things are like, coaches do this. They're kind of like, our game model is high level, and then they trickle down these little tactics. He's hitting all the points of his major game model. Like, and they're winning games because of it. And this is just goes to show, like, there's ways to do it, but the game is a lot simpler than we want to make it out to be. And I know it's 90 minutes. There's so much that goes on, but like, if you can keep the other team from scoring, make sure that you're attacking them when they're not ready, and using your best player, Danny Bouanga, which now, by the way, you have a secondary best player, which is one of the reasons why I think people were saying, like, well, the team's just not where I want them to be. Yeah. With only one guy scoring, it makes it a little bit more difficult, or a little bit easier for the other team to shut you down. Now there's another option. I think that you're going to see this game model flourish. It still might not be the most aesthetically pleasing, but it will be highly effective. And I think that, I was going to say thankful. You don't have to be thankful, but I think you should look at this team and go, look, they're very competent in what the coach's plan is, and they can get a little bit better at it, and it will win us games. And ultimately, isn't that what we all want? We're not going to remember them passing 20 times before scoring a goal, as long as they win MLS Cup. Like, these are the important things.
There will be lots of posts about how many passes there were before the goal. People love posting those clips.
They do, and they're fun. Look, I fall for it too. But at the end of the day, if you could make one pass and then put the ball in the back of the net, you'd do that every time. You wouldn't eschew that just to make 20 passes. You would do that every time.
It's like someone who still writes in cursive. It's like, what are you trying to prove?
Yeah. Look how beautiful it is.
Someone who still writes, type.
Okay, you clanker. I do think, like, obviously we are going to we'll have a good answer to this question by the end of the season, but I don't think we can understate enough what having a second major scoring option is going to do for the club. Son changed the game in a way that Giroud never did in his year and a half with us, right? In 30 minutes, we saw him contribute more deadly chances. Maybe not chances, but you know what I mean? Like, he made the game seem more...
He was involved. He was involved. Yeah. That's one of the
created chances. He didn't happen to finish, but not in a way that was
screen. Like... Literally being on the screen helped.
And also, like... The Dolo conversation, I'm just so bored with at this point, because it's like, if you already hated him, you've made your fucking point. Like, we've been having he's leaving in 2 months. Let's shut the fuck up and watch the team. He's not going to be fired in the next 2 months. You don't have to hate. I mean, you don't have to say you like the guy, but I'm just so bored of the conversation about the coach because it's over. He's leaving. What do you want? I'm ready to move on from it, because, like, even when we're critical of him, it's not enough. They want us to say that he's a bad coach, and the stats just don't say he's a bad coach. You could say he's not aesthetically pleasing, and it's true, but the stats do not line up with the narrative. Just because we've lost a couple games and are in 5th place, that does not mean we're as bad as the Galaxy, who I want everyone to know are not making any signings this summer. And I think we have some more coming
no
as
money.
well. Okay. Now me ranting about that, which I'm sure will make everyone happy, brings us to our third storyline, which is this. Can Vince name every state in New England? Vince, what do we need to know about the New England Revolution this weekend? And can you name every state in New England?
Maybe if you gave me enough time, but let's just talk about the New England Revolution instead.
Nope, let's count the states
Let him
first.
get away with that.
Where does it end? Is Massachusetts the end?
That's what you're saying when you're there.
Let's go for it. Where does it? Yeah, exactly.
New England.
Just go through the list.
For how long?
New England, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Maine.
You got it. That was it. You did say New England as if New England was a state, but
oh wait, did you not say Massachusetts? Did you maybe not say Massachusetts?
He said Massachusetts.
No, I said Massachusetts.
Before.
I was just trying to make sure that was the border, like that's the dividing line.
Connecticut is both in New England and the tri-state area, and half of Connecticut represents New York sports-wise, and half of Connecticut represents Boston sports-wise. And so that's the divide. Like the New York Times once did a dividing line, and they literally went through my hometown of where New York versus Boston fans are. And it's why I hate myself so much. So tell us what we need to know about the New England Revolution.
They're not very good. They won last week, but they beat a team that also is not very good in DC United. That was actually their first win in their last 9. And before that, I think were winless, 4 games. So like they have some talent. Carlos Gil is still an incredibly talented playmaker, and he scored in that game. They just brought Matt Turner back, who is a pretty good goalkeeper. He's on loan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Leon.
They brought Matt Turner back?
Yeah, he played in that game. He actually got a shutout in the game. So Matt Turner will be there. So they have some talent. They have Leo Campagna, who's I think a good player, but it's been injured a lot. Like they've had injuries. It's another team where like they're really trying to rehaul the roster on the fly. But when you do that, there's a lot of things that have to go right, and it just like things haven't fallen into place for them. I think they're gonna spend another year sitting down and really trying to understand like, do we continue to build around Carlos Gil? Like, what is our identity? Like they don't really have an identity. They have like one decent player, and then that's about it. So they're not particularly great at anything. Like they don't score a lot of goals. They don't really give up a lot of goals. They're just kind of middling. But the big thing for LAFC is going to be this. LAFC is not great on the road. They're not horrible. Actually, they've only lost 3 times on the road, but they just draw a lot of games. And with so many games remaining on the road, LAFC is going to have to figure out a way to win on the road in order to guarantee themselves the home games that they crave in the playoffs. And this is going to be a moment, now that Son is here, now that we've kind of gotten over the hump of the excitement. And I'm sure a lot, like, we didn't really talk about that, but it must have been weird for the players to like go through all that. Like it was a big week in which everyone was talking about something else, and then he's in the stands for the game. Like you're coming off a Leagues Cup. Like I think now they're probably just happy. Like he's here, he's training with us, he's one of our teammates. We can move on. But I think this would be a moment where if you're LAFC, winning a game on the road, going all the way across country, it's going to be a big moment, and they're going to need these games because I believe they have 11 games remaining, 7 on the road, 4 at home. Got to start winning games on the road. And this is definitely an opportunity against a team that's not very good, in which you should get all 3 points and really start to lay down a marker and say, we will have home games. We are going to climb up the table.
It's also a brutal travel schedule this month where it's LA to Chicago, back to LA to New England to LA to Dallas, back to LA in a 3-week period. Like that is exhausting for anyone. And then to have to play sports, I can only imagine how hard that is. I can't run for more than 10 minutes.
And then we're going to play sports.
Right.
Not just after all that,
early.
Every time.
They are going early. They generally don't go that early, but looking at their schedule, they will be training in New England on Friday.
Oh, great.
So I think usually
and Foxborough's not near Boston too. So you have to fly to Boston and then drive to Foxborough too. It's not a simple commute.
Yeah, which I think is why they made that decision. Normally they would go in, they like get in Friday night, have time to rest and relax, but then play the game. I think they want to get acclimated, train.
You should be fine. I mean, as long as you could just stop at a Dunkin', you're fine.
Darren, I know your parents are listening back in Massachusetts. Why don't you visit home more?
They are, so be careful. Oh, okay. Damn it. That backfired.
Got him.
Don't you love your family? Why don't you go visit them more?
I do. I know. They visited us recently, which was
so
very
you made
nice
them
of them.
do the work.
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
Traveling on an airplane with 3 young children is extremely difficult.
And do you think it's easy for your parents?
No, it's also extremely difficult for them.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
When we come back, we're going to talk to Deech from Tigers Supporters Group.
And we're back. He's the events coordinator for the Tigers Supporters Group and helped recruit Sonny back in 2017. Please welcome to the show, Deech. Deech, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
We're very excited to have you on and very excited about the Sonny project that it did start. If you track it back, there's video evidence of you guys, I guess we should say, planting the seeds of what has now come to fruition. We'll get into that. Let's maybe first tell us a little about how you came to LAFC in general and Tiger Supporters Group, because I know that you've been around since the very beginning of this, right?
Yes. So my very good friend Ben Chi, who I'm sure a lot of you guys know, he knows I'm a huge sports fan. I was never really into soccer per se, besides World Cup, Korean World Cup, obviously. But he asked me if I wanted to be a part of a team in LA from the ground up. And so myself, Josh, Sujin, and Sam Ko, our former TSG president, founded TSG. And the 4 of us kind of grew it to what it is now. And I've been there ever since.
That's great. And at the time when that happened, how many other supporters groups were there? Like, what was the scene like? Where was the team at the time? Where exactly are you taking us back to in time?
Before there was a team, before we had a stadium, we were at the Experience Center. There were 8, I think there was maybe like 5 or 6 official supporters groups. We were technically not supposed to be one because we only had 15 members at the time, that first season of the 1352. But they let like the Korean cousin come in and be like, oh, you guys will grow. We'll show you the way. And with a lot of people's help, we got ingrained into the culture, learned about what supporter culture was. And from there, we kind of just spread the love,
I was going to say, I feel like, Tigers has a pretty good reputation among the fans as just being a great vibe and a great hang. For those people who maybe are new fans to LAFC, what's different about Tigers and how do you think you fit into the culture of LAFC as a whole?
That's a great question. I think, we're central to Koreatown. And, as a lot of you may know, Koreatown is probably the largest largest community of Koreans outside of Korea, but there are also different cultures. We're a melting pot. And I think since we're so central to Koreatown, it was just something that a lot of people who had like minds and was about the football culture was able to be a part of. And so you'll see a lot of different faces in our group. I know majority of the other supporter groups are mostly of Latino culture, but I pride ourselves, we have a mixture of everybody. And I think, we love to share the Korean culture. And a lot of our members have been coming out to Korean restaurants, learning about the Korean culture and things like that. So we love that we started off as a Korean group, but now we're such a, different shade of a community. So it's been amazing.
I'm just curious because you say it started with 4, then you have 15 and you're like, kind of like, oh yeah, you guys can come in. And obviously like I've hung out with Tigers, like the group is much bigger now.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us though, like probably what it's been like the last week of like the amount of people that have probably reached out to you? And do you feel, I know we're going to get into like that meeting and we're going to get into Sonny himself and that kind of thing, but is there any pressure? Do you feel like, does it feel kind of weird where you're like, wow, there's a little bit of a spotlight on us and like, you never really asked for that. Not that you're against it, but like you never really asked for that. What's that feeling like?
100%. To start off as the first Korean supporter group in any major league sport, I think is a huge thing. But we don't want to focus on just being the Korean group. But yeah, I mean, like you said, a lot of people have reached out. People I haven't spoken to in decades, Finally, now they're interested in LAFC and say, hey, so you can hook me up with some tickets? And I just leave them on red. But it's, so many people are reached out. My dad finally uttered the words LAFC. I've been a part of this since the beginning. He's like, hey, do you know there's that Korean football and for a team called LAFC? And while I'm wearing LAFC gear to lunch with my family. So it's pretty funny, but for it to be on my dad's radar means it's actually important to him now. So yeah, it's been crazy. The last couple of weeks, people have been congratulating me like I was I did something, because they knew how important TSG was in my life. It's probably the single most important thing in my life right now. But yeah, it's been nuts. I mean, it's very exciting. I think all of us are just really stoked to have Son be a part of this. It's a dream. It was our dream, I think, since the beginning. When Kim Won-an came on, we're like, oh my God, we finally have a Korean player. But to have someone like Sonny, who, if you think about it, he's the MJ of Korea, right? He's global. Everyone knows him. He's like the golden boy of Korea. And to have him be a part of LA and have Koreatown be in the backyard of BMO Stadium is amazing.
Do you feel like you kind of understood where other fans may not have, just how big of a deal this was when it was kind of like, I kind of got the vibe that it was like everyone understood how good of a player he was, and maybe what he meant to Tottenham fans. Do you think maybe people were like not quite ready for what this really was?
Yeah, I mean, when I heard the rumors, I didn't want to get my hopes up. Everyone was like, oh my God, I heard Sonny's coming. I said, wait, don't jinx it. But to have it get closer and closer to an agreement and then finally saying, LAFC management is in Korea to sign. And I waited to post until it said it was official. But yeah, I don't know if anyone was ready for this. The Korean community in Koreatown right now is going absolutely nuts. After they found out he was signed, there's a place called Brothers Barbecue. They painted a mural of him like literally the next day. It's insane. Insane. Korean, Ajushi, the Ajumother, which is like the middle-aged, older Korean community, they are coming out to watch parties in full Sonny gear. I've never seen these people at a watch party anywhere, but now they're here. And they're here to stay. So
talk a little bit about the 2017 meeting with Sonny. I know that obviously we're joking now about you guys recruiting him, but I'm sure, seeing the Korean community rally around him in LA didn't not come up in his brain when he was thinking about coming here. So talk to us about that meeting, what it was like.
Well, we were gathered together at quarters in Chairman Plaza under false pretenses. We were told that one of the owners of LAFC wanted to meet the Korean supporters group because maybe we liked League of Legends, which is, I think, the PC game that he was involved with. And we had no idea until we started seeing people from the media, like Korean media come, like, what's going on? And to see him walking alongside Christian and Julio and Matt Brados and Rich Orozco just walking in, I couldn't believe it. I think I broke a beer glass, and I didn't even realize it until there was beer everywhere. But the aura this man has walking in, and it was like the sun was shining from him. And it was incredible. I don't think any of us ever thought we would ever see him that close. He is as good looking as he is on TV and then some.
That's the thing. I wasn't prepared for how hot he is. He's very hot.
He's beautiful. He's a beautiful man. Yeah. So that was incredible. And just to be able to be around him and knowing, how much he did for the Korean soccer team, it was just, it still feels like a dream.
Did he leave and then everyone was like, well, now what? What was it like?
I actually don't remember him leaving because he felt like he was there still afterwards. It was like the residual effect of Sonny's aura. But I mean, as you probably all know from the video, our Mexican supporters, they came with him to basically thank him and Korea for having them advance to the World Cup and the next stages. But Josh, I don't know how he did it. Josh Spice, who's been on your program before, he's the wordsmith. He was our communications manager. So he thankfully had come to his senses, was able to speak coherently to him and thank him for everything he's done for us. And just to be able to sit there and interview him and honestly, give us maybe a little hope that perhaps when he retired, from playing in Europe that he maybe consider us. Since then, I think I've been praying profusely to the football gods to hopefully have him come. And here we are in black and gold.
And if, we've noticed already with our listeners, like a massive uptick, just like in a 2-week period. If there's new fans of the team or fans from Korea that are listening and they want to get involved with the club or with Tigers, any advice for them?
Well, now that you mentioned it, we've had a lot of people jump on the TSG train and DM us and also become a Tiger. And I have so many people in our TSG Slack, like over the last few weeks, just even with the potential of him coming. So now that he's here, it's like, it's real. And I'm sure we'll have some like middle-aged Korean men trying to come and be a part of it. But
doing jump
definitely
for LA Football Club.
yeah. Definitely check out our Instagram, LAFC_TSG. Shoot us a message and also just come out to our watch parties. We'll post in our Instagram anytime we have a watch party. Come out, meet the group, hang out with us, come share some soju with us, and just chop it up. And everyone is very friendly. We've had people join our group just by standing next to us in the north end. I think everyone just is about the culture, and LAFC and 3252 in general are so open to new people trying to get involved. And my sister and my brother-in-law are Carson fans. My brother-in-law has been a Carson fan since the beginning. I told them, look, you can come to the dark side. My sister was so saddened when she heard that Sonny actually signed with LAFC. But I tell her the door's always open for you. So yeah, it's check out our Instagram, come meet us, come to tailgate, and party with us.
Where's the watch party this Saturday?
This Saturday, it will be at Baja's Grill in Koreatown. We generally have it. Our home bar is Beer Garden in Koreatown on Western. There's some scheduling conflicts there, but come to Baja's Grill. It's on Wilshire and I believe New Hampshire. All the info will be on our Instagram, but come out. It's going to be a lot of people there. It'll be a lot of fun.
And dare I say some of the best merch of any supporters group. I don't want to get myself in trouble. I consistently the coolest merch. But
how can I get my hands on that kit from last year? That's what I'm
unmatched.
A lot of them are gone, but I'm gonna dig through our merch box and see what we do have, and we gotta hook you guys up. You guys we have scarves available. Our new court T-shirt is available too, so definitely check out the link in bio. But reach out to us. We can ship out any merch that we do have. I will toot our own horn and say that we have the best creative team, and year after year, season after season, they put out some fire fits. So super proud of that.
For new fans of the team and fans who are used to following Sun and not local, what should they know straight from you about this experience of LAFC that they might be able to experience like remotely? I mean, now we're going global more than we ever have before, I think. I think that you're a trustworthy source of somebody who truly understands Sun in a way that they do. What should they know about LAFC, about this community, about this league? We did touch on this, like the basics of like the nuts and bolts of the league. It probably lacks some heart though, So what should they know?
You kind of touched on it when you were talking about heart. We all love our club so much. We support our players in good times and bad. I mean, we chant about it, but we are really about this. Again, as I mentioned, I've never really cared for football aside from World Cup. And here I am, almost at every home match. I've been to so many away matches. I talk footy with my friends, and I genuinely get upset when, they talk shit about our players. But it's just, we really care. We love all our players. We love our team. The club. I mean, I have TSG tatted on my body. I have an LAFC tat here on my finger.
Oh, awesome.
I'm going to get a bigger one, but it's part of my life now. And I think it's the same for a lot of our supporters, TSG and otherwise, and we want to spread the love. We want to spread the culture. And I think LAFC has done such a great job of doing that organically. And we are in LA as opposed to the other club across the 110. But it's, the passion is real. And I think people will hear it on the Apple TV broadcasts, but also at our watch parties. We bring drums, we chant, we jump for LA Football Club. And, we don't do the beer showers in there because, the establishment, but if we could, we would. And it's a passion. It's a lifestyle.
Deech, thank you so much for being here, man. When we come back, we're going to make some bets.
And we're back. Now it's time for a segment called Bet It and Forget It.
Bet it and forget it.
Every week we end the show with a bet for this week's games. We make an outlandish prediction, something that almost definitely will not happen, but could. Each week we all put up $5, and if no one hits, the money rolls over to the next week, and eventually by the time someone's weird prediction comes true, they might win a good chunk of change. No one's bet cashed last week, so the pool for this week is now $30. We're still building back up after Vince's huge win
Massive
the prior
win.
week.
I do think two things I want to make sure that we say, because I forgot to say it earlier in the show. We're going to give away tickets to Sun's home debut, the San Diego game, my seats, which are very good seats.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. I can't believe we haven't said that yet.
We're going to give them away to
Yeah.
a patron. So if you're a Patreon member, we'll figure out exactly what they are, but only Patreon members will be able to apply to get seats in section 129, and we'll figure out what it is. And then also, we do not have a post-game pod for Dallas. We haven't said that yet. But not this week, but we will not be having a post-game pod next week. We're having a retreat for the podcast.
We have an
We're having a
offsite.
corporate retreat.
Corporate offsite.
Yeah. And so we're not going to be there. So,
Also,
maybe we could have Jeff Talk do it. Should we let him host?
The rule of not talking about Houston has spread locally.
Yeah, we don't talk about Dallas.
We're going to talk about Texas now.
It is a game in Dallas in August. Like, what are the chances?
Worst
it gets
case
played?
scenario. Yeah.
I'm just
So
saying.
you think
like,
it's gonna get weathered
I
out?
don't know, there's going to be some kind of thunderstorm or something. It's bound to happen. Every time we go to Texas, there has to be some kind of weather related.
Summer in
Ted
Texas.
Cruz is not
I don't
ready.
think we've ever won. I don't think we've ever won a game Texas in the summer.
That's true.
It was like it had been like 4 years since we won in Texas last year when we won in Texas. We just played terribly there.
Man.
Can't blame them.
I have a bet, and I'm very confident in it, and I'm coming up with it right now. And it's this. We will win by a goal differential of 3 or more. 3 or more.
Has that happened at all this season?
I don't think so. I think we've won by 3, or we had 3 goals, maybe.
We've
But I
had
don't
3
think
goals.
the goal differential will be, so it has to be like 3-0, 4-1. We'll win by a lot away from home.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's
We
my bet.
beat Columbus
I'm sticking to it.
3-0 in the CCC game at the beginning of the season. And that's the only time that has occurred, I believe. This is a good bet. Oh, we beat Seattle 4-0. How could I forget?
Ooh, yeah,
The
that was
surging Seattle Sounders.
The surging Seattle Sounders. My
we have a lot-
favorite team on Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Since we have a lot of listeners and or viewers that are probably new to MLS, we talk about doing bets that are outlandish. And I would say this, normally saying there will be a bunch of men in colonial garb with muskets. You'd say, Vince, that's your bet? That's so stupid.
That's
but
a
I
great
can't
bet.
make that bet because there will in fact be a bunch of men in colonial garb for the New England Revolution. That's just standard in their stadium.
Sometimes there's not because there's nobody.
It's true.
Because sometimes
Yeah.
literally nobody shows up.
True.
It is, yeah.
So-
Foxborough. I will say, having now left the East Coast for over a decade, you guys got to give up the Revolutionary War. It's who gives a shit at this point?
Yeah, nobody in the rest of the country gives a shit.
Making America was a mistake. You shouldn't be proud about it anymore. This was a colossal. If we were still part of the UK, I would be ecstatic. The soccer would be better. We'd all be a lot happier. So we'd have better health care. So give it up.
They moved on from the king queen thing as far as practical concerns go. We could have just waited.
But I'm gonna include them in my bet because this is my bet. Sonny scores, and when he scores and goes to celebrate, within view, like in frame, will be the Colonial guys, and one of them will be like harassing the LAFC players. Like you'll clearly see him on camera, like either ready to like flip the bird or just like trying to give it to them. So he has to not only score but celebrate, and you guys will like call me on this. Like, we can't
The
just say like
celebration
he
will
ran
be-
by him. Like, he has to celebrate like in front of these colonial men, not just
I
running past them. Like, he's there. He maybe not even paying attention to them, but in the background, very clearly, they will be there and they will be peeved and they will be upset.
Peeved is a good word for it.
at him.
Yelling at him.
Yelling
There's
and
something-
pointing and basically ready to start a second Revolutionary War.
I do love the idea of like your team's garb wrapped up in like 300-year-old culture from your country, because it would be like if we played Dortmund and their supporters groups like wore lederhosen. Like it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, that's a great bet. So he was Son scores. He celebrates on the side where the colonial men are, and we see the colonial men screaming vehemently.
Clearly within frame, and you have to see them upset. Because
On the
to your point,
broadcast.
Travis, I just imagine like you dress up like that and like people just see you, and like what happens when they lose the game and you walk out of the stadium and everyone's like, "Hey man, you did a good job," and you're just like, "Yeah, it's rough." Like, it's just so weird.
Did you see the clip of when this is earlier this season, one of the supporter groups, they like staged the Boston Tea Party at the stadium and threw like a box of tea onto the
onto
pitch.
the
I think I
field.
remember this.
But
And
it
it
was
just-
so clearly like cardboard, and it just kind of like floated like a feather. So it was supposed to be like this big thing, and it was just like the weakest thing ever. It's so funny. I have a bet.
Mm.
So for people who have listened to the show for a long time know that one of my favorite bets to make, and bet it and forget it, is the French Connection bet, which is that Hugo Lloris would make an assist to Denny Bouanga. I'm
There
going
were
to create
other
a
French
new...
players at the time too.
There were other French players at the time.
Mhm.
Our French definition of French is loose. Denny Bouanga is French in that he was born in France.
I would say that's not very
Maxime
loose, by the way.
Maxime Chanot spoke French. We don't know if he still has that language in the state of his brain. We hope the best for him.
Wow, you went there. Wow.
Who else? We recently learned that
Did
Abobasi
you forget about
is
Olivier
French-Canadian.
Giroud?
Olivier Giroud, when playing, was some... it might have even happened once. No, I don't think it did. Anyway...
No, how would he be running onto a ball from Hugo?
So I'm now introducing an alternate version of my favorite bet, which is the Tottenham connection.
Oh.
And there will be a Lloris to Son goal. Lloris with the assist.
I don't know if we want to associate our club with Tottenham if we're worried about winning in finals. I just want to say that.
Well, no one told John
What do you mean?
Thornton that because it's been happening for years.
I turned off the TV today. They were up 2-0 against PSG. They clearly won the Super Cup.
Oh yeah, they don't look it up. Don't look it up. They definitely didn't blow it in 5 minutes at the end of the game. Okay, that's a great bet. I think that is wonderful, Darren.
I agree.
Well, we shall see. That's our show. Our theme music is done by the insane team of James Valentine, Nate Walcott, and Louis Palmer. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel where we're almost at 1,500 subscribers at youtube.com.
1,500.
That's a way that people say that number.
Yeah.
1,500 subscribers over at youtube.com/@HappyFootSadFoot. You can review us. And if you want to support the show, help us make it, the best way you could do it is to become a friend of the foot over at patreon.com/HappyFootSadFoot. And I heard a little birdie say that the fees are going up. So the amount it might cost to be a patron, a new patron, might go up soon. Old patrons, you don't have to worry about it. It doesn't apply to you. But if you wanted to become a patron, now might be a good time to do it, guys. The fees are going up, so we're going to have to raise some prices. So it might be a good time to do it if you want to get in ahead of time. Over at patreon.com/HappyFootSadFoot. And you could also pick up some of our new Bouanga and Son merch over at HappyFootSadFootPod.com before one of their estates sues us. Any support really goes a long way to keeping the show going and the community growing. I love you, and we'll see you on the live stream. Bye.
I love you. Bye.
Vince, do this.
I can't believe we still do this bit.
Do this or whatever. What is it? Is it this? I love you. Bye.